In Scream 2, Randy points out that the body count is always bigger. Charnas explains that Spencer Charnas, the lead singer of the band, the production is upped on every level. There's more recording budget or filming budget. And he says, we went into the Silver Scream 2 with that lighthearted attitude that we were going to have fun and see how much crazier we could take this newfound style of taking horror movies and converting it into the Ice Nine Kills treatment. Thought it was an interesting little blurb that I found on Wikipedia. So thank you for that, Wikipedia. And thanks for tuning into the Disembodied Screams podcast. Those returning, thank you. Those new to this podcast, welcome. Now let's get started with where I start all the time. The cover. 1 is Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. 6 is Freddy's Nightmare. So my scale runs 1 to 6. And on that scale, I put this cover at a 3. Solid 3. I wrote dark colors, ominous background brings on a bit of dread. And that's why I made it a 3. I mean, when you look at this cover, there is a bit of dread filled throughout this cover with what I can't tell what's in the sky here. Is it a hand? Is it a mouth? I cannot tell what's in the sky. If you know, let me know. Spotify, YouTube, you can comment. And you've got the palm trees in black. You got Hollywood turned to Horrorwood. It says a little welcome to sign. There's a lot of blacks and grays and blues and even some reds from the lights. Ice Nine Kills name looks great with the icicles hanging down that are sharpened like blades. So I give the cover a 3. I think it's a solid 3 from start to finish. Start to finish. It's a solid 3. The title I gave a 4. Welcome to Horrorwood. The Silver Scream 2 has a nice ring to it. If I saw Welcome to Horrorwood and didn't know much about this band, I would say there's something horrific going on here. Especially I love the clever play on words. Hollywood to Horrorwood. Gives me kind of Tales from the Crypty kind of creep show vibes, which I said in my other Ice Nine Kills video episode. They're a very Tales from the Crypty kind of creep show kind of band. It's kind of what they do. That's their vibe and their style. And I really like that because I do like Tales from the Crypt and creep show. Album information says the Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood, is known as Welcome to Horrorwood, the Silver Scream 2, or simply Welcome to Horrorwood, or the Silver Scream 2. So there's lots of different titles, and there's also a lot of different versions of this album and both albums of the Silver Scream albums. It says it is the 6th studio album by Ice Nine Kills, released October 15, 2021. About time for a new album, guys. That's getting up there. About, what's that, 4 years? See, I'll be recording this in 25, and I'm releasing it in 26. So that'll be 5 years. It'll be 5 years since we had a new album. We had some good new singles, but not a new album by them. And I would really love to see them do a concept slasher movie set to an album. Take the concept of the slasher movie and set it to music and make a concept album like that. I would love to see that. Okay, it goes on to say it is the band's first album to feature bassist Joseph Occhietti, guitarist Dan Sugarman, and Ricky Armelino, and the only album to feature drummer Patrick Galante. Screwed up any of those names, let me know. It's on the screen on Spotify or YouTube. You can comment on both those spots and let me know, hey, you didn't get them right. Well, let me know how to say them. All right, moving on. It goes on to say it is a follow-up and sequel to the band's previous album, The Silver Scream, which was inspired by horror films. This album is also inspired by horror films and features guest vocals such as Jacoby Shaddix, George Corpse Grinder Fisher, love me some Cannibal Corpse, Brandon Soller, Ryan Kirby, and Buddy Nielsen. The album became the band's biggest commercial success, reaching number 18 on the U.S. Billboard 200 and number 1 on the Hard Rock Albums chart. So there you go. They got some success with this one, which is probably what got them on the Metallica tour, I would bet. You get those kind of numbers, people start noticing you. And I know Kirk Hammett is a big horror fan, so I guarantee you this got on his radar, and he was like, we got to get this band on our tour. I guarantee you that's where it started. I bet you $1 million. Personnel, Ice Nine Kills, Spencer Charnas, lead vocalist. Dude is having the best time of his life. He's living his best years, man. Just go watch some of his clips on Instagram of what these shows look like. He is having a blast. Ricky Armelino's on rhythm guitar and backing vocals. Joseph Occhietti, bass, backing vocals, keyboards. Dan Sugarman, lead guitar, backing vocals. Patrick Galante, drums and percussion. And again, any of those names are wrong, Spotify, YouTube, comment and let me know. Track listing goes like this. Opening night, welcome to Horrorwood. Welcome to Horrorwood. It's a hard word to say. A rash decision, assault and batteries, the shower scene from one of my favorite movies, Psycho. Maybe my all-time favorite movie. I love Psycho. I can't wait to cover Psycho on the channel. I do movies on the YouTube channel. I don't do them on the podcast. The podcast is just for music. So I would love to cover that series eventually of Psycho, because I think Psycho is just a banger. It's one of those series that there's not a bad movie in the series. None of those movies are bad. And I don't count the remake. So if I don't count the remake, then none of those movies are bad. But I love the shower scene. And Psycho is amazing too. It's like two movies in one. You know, you've got a first act, second act, final act in that first 30 minutes. And then you got from the 30 minutes on, or you got another one of those. It's just crazy good stuff. Funeral Derangements is next. Rainy Day. Really like Rainy Day a lot. Hip to Be Scared, of course, featuring Jacoby Shaddix. Personal favorite, Take Your Pick, featuring Corpse Grinder. Love when he comes in that song, that really vocally thing he does. Love it. The Box, featuring Brandon Staller and Ryan Kirby. F period, L period, Y period, featuring Buddy Nielsen. Your Worst Vacation. God, I love Worst Vacation. That's one of my favorites now. This one is just hitting me hard the last few years, getting into Worst Vacation. Just love it so much. Ex Mortis. Broke up my brand new Evil Dead shirt in case you guys can see that. Specifically for this episode, because I knew Ex Mortis was on here with the Evil Dead. And Farewell to Flesh. And I put Meet and Greet underneath it because that's on the other version, the deluxe version. And kind of shame it's not on this one. All right, and there are singles. I've been shocked. A bit more water. This time I still got a sip left, folks. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know I'm constantly running out of water. One sip left. All right, singles from the Silver Scream 2, Welcome to Horrorwood. Hip to Be Scared, love the video. Released July 9th, 2021, Assault and Batteries. August 9th, 2021. Rainy Day, September 9th, 2021. Funeral Derangements, October 9th, 2021. Take Your Pick, of course, Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2022. Of course, based on My Bloody Valentine. The Shower Scene, July 29th, 2022. And Welcome to Horrorwood, January 13th, 2023. And I don't know if it was Friday the 13th, January 13th, 2023, but I have a feeling it was, or they wouldn't have released Welcome to Horrorwood on that day. I'm just saying. All right, and those were the singles. And this is the point in time where I look at the songs and everything that's on this album song-wise, and I rate the songs based on a scale of 1 to 6. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Freddy's Nightmares. And these songs are a 6. How could these songs not be a 6? I mean, I'm throwing what I'm calling the Abigail Mulligan out on this one, where they don't sound horrific, but when you dive into the minutia, you dive into the nougat of the song, you're like, oh my God, these are based on horror movies, so of course it's a 6. And then after I get the songs figured out, I've got the cover, the title, and the songs. I take all those numbers, I throw them into a big pot, I stir it around, pull out the melting skull that has the number imprinted on the forehead. And this album is a 4.4. So it's leading a lot closer to Freddy's Nightmares than it is, of course, to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And I'm doing what I'm calling a current horrific top 5. And this will be a little spoiler alert because I'm going to mention two artists in here that I have not yet covered, but they're coming up next after the Silver Scream 2. Actually, they're probably going to come up after Fulci's Exhumed Information. So I've got, I want to line up my Ice Nine Kills back to back. I want to do that. And then I just watched Fulci's, one of Fulci's movies based on, whatever the movie that was. Something from Beyond is the name. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. The movie, but Fulci's concept album, Exhumed Information, is based on that movie. So it was fresh on my brain, so I wanted to go ahead and do it. So I went ahead and did that one, and it's already recorded. But I got the scripts written for these too. So the current horrific top 5 with the current scripts that are written and ready to be recorded, Black Sabbath is now tied with Dying Fetuses Make Them Beg for Death at 5.4. So that's a tie for number one right now. Why wouldn't Black Sabbath be tied for number one? There's one coming up, Black Dahlia Murders. I've kind of done the numbers on that one too. They're nocturnal, and I think it's a 5.6. So another spoiler alert, y'all who watch. So that's going to knock those two out of the top spot. But anyways, as of now, Black Sabbath, Dying Fetus, King Diamond, Abigail 5.2. King Diamond, Abigail 2 is a 5. And Cannibal Corpse, another one which will be coming up after Fulci, if I keep my schedule lined up right. Chaos Horrific 4.9. It came on a random, one of their songs, Something to Sacrifice. I can't think of the name of the title of the song. It came on my random playlist this morning from Cannibal Corpse from that album, Chaos Horrific. And I was like, man, that song is great. Oh, Cannibal Corpse still sound amazing, even to this very day. All right, I'm hitting the 11-minute mark. YouTube's not going to like me for that. Spotify probably will, so we'll see how that goes. Hope you're enjoying these episodes, even though they get a little long. Let me drop anchor here, close out the episode as I start to ramble. A sip of water still left in the cup. If you like what you hear, don't forget to tap the follow button on the podcast platform of choice. Subscribe on YouTube. And wherever you are, just look at your platform and say, what can I do to support this podcast? Can you like? Can you comment? Can you leave a review? Whatever you can do. We know what to do on YouTube. We kind of know what to do on Spotify, but it's in a few other spots too, this podcast. So just figure out what you can do there. Help this thing keep growing, showing, reaching more listeners as the 2026 rolls on. Take care. Thanks for listening. And go listen to Ice Nine Kills today. Just turn on both albums and play them back to back. Blast them loud and let the people know how great these albums are. Be good.